How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
I'm well, I'm well. How is lockdown treating you? I know you work for yourself and work from home, so you seem pretty much in your element, as far as I can tell.
It hasn't been too bad. I think the first 2 weeks I was a bit anxious, irritated,
Yeah,
all those emotions, and really sort of thought, how was I going to get myself, to focus on work?
mm,
And then I just realized that, pull myself towards myself and get on with it because people started looking to me for guidance. But I was very honest in the beginning and shared my feelings about how I was feeling, like
yeah,
really honest. Um, and as it got better, I realized that I've been through this kind of uncertainty and change, rapid change in my life quite a couple of times.
yeah,
The uncertainty is always there, just not on the scale that it has been now.
mm,
So that's the one big difference. But other than that, it has allowed me to take my business fully online. So that's a good thing.
yeah. And I mean, we're all trying to be innovative in that way. For us who have to go out and shoot, we've had to find new ways. I posted a few stuff this morning from doing a photo shoot, 3 photo shoots that I did online, and I still need to do one with you. Um, and that's been really interesting to say the least. But when we spoke the other day, you said to me that it coincidentally is International Coaching Week this week, and I know that you're a coach. And guys, if you follow Suzanne on Facebook, you will see the things that this woman does. Like, I don't even know how she does it. Like, half the time I'm like, okay, I want to watch this of yours, I want to watch that, but then I'm like, you have like a lot of so much interesting conversations and things happening online. So I want to know from you first and foremost, what is the definition of a coach? Because we know that people who do sport need coaches, but why do normal people need coaches?
I think, one difference you must understand right from the get-go, coaching is not counseling,
Hmm.
and coaching is not the giving of advice.
Yeah.
Okay? It's actually helping you, like the coach trains an athlete to get to the 100-meter sprint in under 3 minutes. So a coach helps you to get to achieve your goals.
Yeah.
In my particular instance, I work with people who have businesses or have ideas of starting a business and help them through that process. So it's like having your own sounding board, but also your own accountability partner.
Do you?
So it really depends on how you use your coach.
Yeah, I mean, I've personally had a coach for like a few minutes because in my house, I'm the one who believes in a coach, and my partner doesn't necessarily believe that it's worth it. But I think all of us experience it differently. What do you think the key reasons are that a person needs to either speak to a coach or maybe have a coach help direct them in their business or their personal life?
Well, for me, it's been around most of the people that I've been working with. There's this need to be in control,
Mm,
at least feel in control. Be clear on what they seek to achieve or and how they're going to get there. And
yeah,
sometimes that is not so clear. Other times they need someone who is not emotionally attached to their business. Look, I'm not attached to their business or their personal life, so I can bring them a different perspective. And that always
mm,
helps because, then you get new insights. Especially now, I think a lot of people have been struggling with, where does this leave me? My job is no longer the way that I intended it to be. I wasn't wanting to be here at this time of my life, facing
yeah.
retrenchment, retirement, or all sorts of things. So there's a lot of change that people need to cope with. So what I do is like say, okay, what do you want to do now? Have you thought about it? Have you sort of, have you got a plan? Because you're not at the stage where you're going to go sit on the beach all day because you're now in retirement.
Yeah.
Most people work, they want to do something else. They want to feel worthwhile, even under lockdown circumstances. I know a lot of people have had severe issues adjusting to having everybody at home. Children, mother, father, uncle.
In my
And
face all
all of a
day,
sudden,
man.
so it has been a huge problem. So in that case, I've helped people organize their workspace, organize their thoughts, make sure that they have arrangements with their spouses, because now there's two of them at home, and you're getting each other's way, whether you like it or not. And then you have your children who actually are so glad that you're home. They cannot comprehend that you're actually working. So that is the tension. So I've had a lot of clients who just need, Suzanne, help me organize. How do I do this? How do I manage my time? And, get that in order.
So
Because,
it's actually, yeah. Now I want to interject on the part where you say help them get themselves in order, because most times when I was explained what a coach was, it seems more attached to my purpose and my visionary goals. But I mean, it comes down to the basic things of just organizing your life for a regular day, and not necessarily giving you what you need to do, but giving you the tools of how to get there.
Yes, especially like, for instance, my coach asked me to write down what are the roles that I play in my life. And I had a list of 12 or 13. And then she said, where do you fit in your coaching and all of the stuff that you want to do? So it's basically asking you those questions like, I don't deal with vision and all of that. It's practical as to, okay, this is what you want to do. How are you going to do it with the time that you have available?
Yeah.
That's the first starting point. And you will always have a vision. If someone is starting a business, I would ask, what is the idea? What does success look like for you in your business? And that success vision then becomes the goal that we will work towards. We will understand if it's realistic in the current context. Do a whole series of, I ask a lot of questions. That's what coaching is about, asking you the right questions to get you to think and to work through what you're doing, and also then help you put a plan in place to get to the next goal. So
do you think that most people, do you think that most people have a problem with even just getting the first steps done? Because for me, I feel like most people need coaches based on the fact that we don't even know where to start. And now all of a sudden, from going to the office every day to coming home, we're overwhelmed with all of these things that need to be done, and not realizing it's the house, it's the children, it's the husband, it's trying to work online, just trying to navigate where we're going to be after this. For some people who might not even have jobs when they go back, do most of your clients come to you based on the fact that initially they don't even know what the in is?
Yeah, and I think in this time of COVID-19, a lot of people, the biggest concern has been that they're so overwhelmed. Life is not what we knew 3 weeks ago. I mean, life is not what we knew yesterday.
Yeah.
Every day it gets, and I think human beings have sort of a problem dealing with so much change in itself. So we have to break it down into smaller pockets as to how are you going to manage. Because one thing that I've realized through this period, most of us want to feel some sense of I'm in control of my life. They don't want other people determining how they live their lives.
Yeah.
So that has manifested in quite a number of ways. Some people have realized maybe they don't want to go back to the 9 to 5 now. They've gotten a taste of what it's like to work with no traffic, all of that. Yes, they've had to get used to having their children around, but they decide that no, ultimately I'd like to work from home. So
Yeah.
there's another change that we have to deal with. What I've also dealt with is managers coming to me and saying, Suzanne, do I have a job? You know, because my team is
Mm.
now working from home. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
How do I make sure that they perform? How do I deal with the fact that I'm now sitting in Joburg and they're sitting all over the country? How do I deal with them? We used to have meetings, we used to have this, I used to fly around. So, there's a sense of your reason for living is now gone. So,
Yeah.
what now? Because a lot of people attach so much meaning to their jobs. It's actually been a wake-up call for a lot of my clients that what
Yeah.
is there outside of the job?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people align who they are with what they do. Because initially when you ask them the
Yes,
question, who are you? They're like, no, I'm a manager. I'm like, well, that's not you.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a good wake up call, but it can be scary, especially for someone who thought they'd be doing this until retirement. What have you
Yes.
seen with your clients lately? What the new direction is for those people in management positions who can't manage their people right now? Have they changed their mind around what they're going to do going forward? Or are they more afraid of what their jobs might look like when the world decides to open again?
Well, there's been a couple of reactions. Those that are realizing the world is changing and that they need to change with it to stay current. So
Mm,
we've kind of started exploring alternative ways to manage remotely. You know, it's
mm,
not when it's remote. It's more about how do you get people to work together? How do you cultivate a team spirit rather than saying you need to complete X, Y, Z by 2 o'clock. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? The whole style changes, and I think that for some people is difficult because they're used to being sort of output driven and accountability driven. So now
Yeah.
they've got to look at being a little bit more of the team cohesive, getting the team together, getting them to work in the one direction. The
Mm,
others have realized that they don't actually like their jobs. They don't actually like who they've become, and they actually they actually want to change. So those are we in that category we're looking at what are the skills, because you know what, we all talented at one or other thing, not just the
yeah.
skills that you have for your job. So we've been looking at how much of your skills can you transfer? What's your passion in life? What do you think that you
Mm,
can monetize? So I have a bit of a more practical approach, like not your vision as in airy fairy up there, but what do you see your
yeah.
life doing? What do you want to do with the rest of your life? And then looking at the skills, we have this good exercise where we look at skills, passions, and the resources available to people. And I'm not
Mm,
talking about money, I'm talking about what equipment do you have to like do this as a job,
mm,
as a business. And that will be either your degrees, your tech savvy, and all of those things. So then we put it together and say, okay, what does this look like as a business for Malise, for instance?
yeah.
Is it a viable business, or are we going to have to look at something else?
Mm,
Because the economy also has changed so much, you know. Um, it's really going to depend on how we adapt very quickly.
yeah. And that's the big thing right now. We need to kind of be an adaptable in how can I say, our mindsets need to be adaptable to the fact that we might like to think that life is going to go back to the normal we were used to, but it most likely is not going to. Especially as far as I can tell, a lot of people have decided that the online working thing works a lot better for them now than they ever thought it would because they've had to make it work. So I want to come down to the
Yeah,
initial question of the whole interview is why do you think right now, during the time of COVID-19, I mean, I keep saying it's 6 or 7 weeks, I've lost track. I'm probably saying that in every one of my videos, but in this time that we're at home, and a lot of people have gone back, I think it said 1.5 million people went back to work on Monday, but they're probably sitting alone in their offices. Why do you think right now is the perfect time to get a coach?
I think now is perfect if you're in a situation where you actually feel alienated. you're uncertain, because I
Mm.
guarantee you every person in our friendship circle or in our collegiate circle is either feeling a bit of alienation, a bit of uncertainty, definitely not
Yeah.
in control of what happens in the workspace, and
Mm.
very unsure about what the future holds. And I'm not just talking about, we've listened to the finance minister speak about a billion jobs being lost, and, really dire predictions. So, how
Yeah.
do you deal with that? You know, I have clients asking me, Suzanne, how realistically can you tell me to start a business in this economic climate? Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And then I'd have to say,
Yeah.
look, what are your alternatives? So it's actually looking at what are the options that people have, because you now need more than ever before, you need an outside view of what you think. So I don't judge people, number one. And I don't offer them advice. I listen to what they have to say, and then we work through what they're saying. Is it viable for them? Because I think a
Mm.
lot more is focused, what COVID-19 has done is actually focus people on their needs, not the
Yes.
employer's needs. Because sometimes people have been doing training because the employer said you must get this, and now what kind of skills do I need to get better at my job? If I want to stay in my job, it may not be with the same company, but
Mm.
I'm going to stay in this field. A lot of people have come out of that. They've also got new ideas of like new industries coming on board. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
people, I don't think we're going to get back to, I mean, South Africans, we love going to the malls. We're not going to be able to do that anymore, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
We don't want to
outing to
do
the
it
mall was like
anymore.
a Saturday thing.
Yeah.
Now you don't.
Mm.
So how are you going to use that time? How do you entertain yourself? How do you entertain your children? And, so
Mm.
there's different lifestyle being built. So that sometimes is very alienating for people because they
Yeah.
haven't actually
So
bargained on this happening now.
yeah, I don't think anybody like planned. I mean, even for us, like in our business, this is the funny thing, like in our business, we have been speaking to pastors about going online. Maybe a year or two now, right? And we are currently we have essential services enough to be able to go and shoot their online stuff and then broadcast it for them. But what we have been talking to them for 2 years, but at no point did we decide to take our business online. So when this whole thing happened, I was like, yo, like I knew about it. I had all the information, but at no point did I actually put it into practice, which is why nobody really listened to us probably at the time. But how do you see businesses innovating now in this time? Especially the people that you were coaching, have you seen a lot of innovation within, especially like face-to-face kind of businesses?
I think there has been a lot of my businesses my business clients have wanted to go online, and they actually appreciate that just going online is not just like transposing your brick and mortar store to online. There are different
Mm.
dynamics and things like that. So they've been very innovative about what they focus on, how they get it done. We've worked through quite a couple of scenarios as to what happens after lockdown is lifted, um, and things like that. I think people have been innovative in terms of where they can't do the direct one-on-one business that they used to do,
Mm.
like you did with your photography. People have come up with ideas of like teaching people to cook. I have a friend who's in a catering company. Obviously, they couldn't cater in the
Yeah.
lockdown 5 phase. So what they did was started sharing their recipes and showing people how to make it. So they've turned that into a YouTube channel, and it's like gone over the roof because people want something to look at, something
Yeah.
present. And they
Yeah.
also make great food. So
Which is a
things
bonus.
like that. Um, so it's kind of things like that that have picked up. I also see a lot of kiddies television, where children have started podcasts and things like that just to cope with the COVID-19 and speaking to their age group. I think there's been an increase in Zoom meetings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think the downside of that is people have realized how much more productive they can be if they do it from home. So I think there's going to be a lot of buildings that are going to be empty for a long time.
Yes.
Now that people have realized you can actually do it from home. So there's positives and negatives to the economy at this stage, you know.
Yeah, I think businesses also, like small businesses, will be saving a lot of money, because the funny thing is, like, just before lockdown happened, we were going to move into a new space, and then not going to happen. And we decided, well, since our office is available, our back garage is available again, we'll turn it back into an office, which essentially is saving us money going forward. But now we're navigating so many new things, we don't necessarily have to get an office anymore. Okay, so in closing, because I know me and you, we can talk for a long time and we have a lot of catching up to do. But I want to know, so a lot of the things that you've been doing online is really inspiring. And I want to learn some of what it is you do. But how do you learn these new techniques if you don't know what to do right now and you can't necessarily go to a coach or speak to a coach at the moment? What do you think the first point of contact for people is to begin with until they can get to a coach, or they're in a place where they're comfortable enough to kind of share what it is they want to do with their life with a coach?
Okay, because I have various options at the moment. I have my group, my Facebook group, Self-Empowerment with Suzanne, where I actually do free training and free coaching in there. Next week, I'm going to be doing a small business survival skills workshop for the whole week, so that people could learn how to look at their businesses differently. I also have a group coaching program out of that group. So once you get to know me and how I do things, you know, there's an option to join a group coaching so that you can get closer to work with me closer. Albeit in a group setting, it works. One-on-one coaching, interestingly, in my business, I found that one-on-one coaching has not been my what's, for want of a better word, my best seller.
Really?
I've actually had more group coaching because that's more accessible. And also people need immediate results right now. They don't want to wait like a couple of months. You know what I mean? So it's a combination, but what I've noticed is that because of this wanting a sense of community and sharing, the group coaching has actually picked up a lot faster than what I had anticipated. And I quite enjoy it because I get to hear different perspectives all the time.
Yeah, no, I love the things that you're doing. I'm struggling to follow them all. I just need a babysitter. And then I'll be there. But that's been rough. But I really love the stuff that you were doing. And this is why I wanted to speak to you, because when we met, I think it's just going to be a year in a few months. When we met, I didn't realize how much impact you actually have in women in business lives and in general people in business lives. So I'm really inspired by a lot of the things that you do. So guys, I want you to go check Suzanne out on Facebook. What is the page's name now again?
It's Suzanne. It's under my name, Suzanne Daniels.
Under your name, yeah.
I have my Facebook. Yeah, Facebook group is Self-Empowerment with Suzanne.
Yes, that's the one that I'm following closely. The Self-Empowerment with Suzanne. Guys, she does lives and you can talk to her directly. She's really good at what she does. And if you know her the way I know her, with her story and everything, guys, you must actually, you know what? I actually think you should share like more of your story at some point so people can really know where you come from and how you got to where you are. Because that's what initially made me start to follow you. But thank you so much for your time. Guys, if you want to contact Suzanne, Self-Empowerment with Suzanne on Facebook, and you can check her here on Instagram. I will post a tag on here. And if you missed the live or want to share the live with anyone, we're going to be up on YouTube next week. So thank you so much, Suzanne. We're going to catch up. We still have a photo shoot to do. We have a photo shoot to do that I'll post. So we'll do that phone call. But thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.